Welcome back, guys, and we are going to do some pre-market analysis for the coming week. And coming to think of it, I actually should be doing some post-market analysis to see if our analysis really went in our favor and what we should learn from it. So starting from this week, we'll try to do some post-market analysis and look at how the market behaved. So let's go to the daily. I'll start with the NAS 100, and NAS 100 was really going crazy this past week, and I have a video about the May anticipation because we are currently 27th April, so a few days to May. But what I can say is that May is promising a very good uptrend in the NAS 100 or in the futures market, because you can see that the recent liquidity points we had have been swept out. When you go to the weekly, start with the weekly, maybe we'd get a clear view. You can see these lows, this low, all this liquidity was taken out, and it looks like market reacted to this weekly order block right here. It's the one which was respected, this weekly OB weekly OB. Alright, so we'll go to daily, monthly. We can see that we have this candle which is showing signs of going higher in the next month. So, and with that, we can also anticipate to fill this gap right here, which makes our bias bullish on the monthly. So the moment these 3 days pan out, the next month might start going higher and higher, targeting this buy side liquidity. Anyways, let's get back to the weekly analysis. So weekly. So last week was bullish, as you can see it right here, and it kept going higher and higher after reacting to this order block right here and stripping all this liquidity. And we might anticipate to fill this gap and take out this liquidity right here, but that won't happen in 1 week, maybe like 3 to 4 weeks, which might be the next month, obviously. So let's go to the daily now, and we'll start by marking up key POIs and key liquidity levels. So since we have a bullish bias, we might mark up some first POIs like this daily order block, daily OB, and we might need to mark also this as a good point of liquidity like this, and our anticipation might anticipation of this might be when the market opens and starts going lower, we would expect a reaction from one of these order blocks or to fill this imbalance you see right here. So we have to speculations right here, because you can see that we have a gap right here, a small liquidity void right here. So market might open and first fill it and then go on higher to take out this liquidity, or if it doesn't, it can fill it and then react to this order block as well and then start going higher. That's what we would like to anticipate for this coming week. As we can see, this week did it already. So this last week, not last week, actually a few weeks earlier, you can see that market rallied higher, came back to test this big order block, down close candle, and then continue going higher. So we would expect some downward move and then higher. And let's go to a lower time frame to get a clearer picture. So yeah, you can see we still have our liquidity voids right here. Great liquidity void, good fair value gap that should be filled. So I think market will start by going a bit lower, maybe the first 2 days, or maybe even only the first day. It will depend on the liquidity that the market will have, and then go higher to target these liquidity points and we can also mark this one. We should actually mark this. This is the nearest liquidity point that we have, and this is the one that we should target first. So this, the nearest liquidity point that we should target and look for buys to this. So what is our speculation for this week? We should be looking for short-term shorts. I would really like to find a term to call that. Short-term sales. Okay, maybe that one. Short-term sales until we fill this liquidity void, where it will be something like this. Go lower. This will be our first entry, something like this, and then our next entry will be something from this. This will be our next entry on the NAS 100. And what happens on the NAS 100 applies on the S&P 500, because they go hand in hand. And when we see a slight change, we go off of that to declare an SMT and look for where the manipulation is and enter off of that, which is almost similar to the US30. If we switch to this chart, you can see it's almost the same. So we can see that the US30 is giving the same image. Let's go to the daily a bit and we can see how it's wanting to go. So we had a liquidity void right here, and you can see it has already been filled, and we might look to take out some buy side liquidity right here. Let's go to 2 hour. Okay, great. We have some strong liquidity points right here, starting from this one, and we also have this one right here. So these are great liquidity points to target for the next week. And why I think we are bullish, you can see that market reacted off of this level right here. We have a good order block right here for this upward move. So this order block has been reacted to, taking out this liquidity, creating a liquidity void, filling it, and then going higher. So we expect market to start going higher as soon as it opens, because you can see it had already created an entry model by hitting this fair value gap right here and going higher. And since we can see that on the 1 hour, we can anticipate some moves in the early opening of the market. So let's do now forex. For the forex part, I'll be doing Euro USD, GBP USD, and GBP JPY. The other pairs will come later. Will not be on stream, but when I'll be having some speculations on it, I'm very sure I'll be sharing out my analysis. So let's start with the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, the weekly time frame, we can see that the market was heading a bit higher, taking up these relatively equal highs, as you can see here, which is a liquidity point taken out. And after that, we might see that market also took all out this liquidity resting off of here, which showed that the market would go lower, trying to rebalance this upward move right here and head to equilibrium. And with that, we might have an overall bias of bearish, where we would anticipate the market to come and fill this gap. Then maybe if it's to go higher, it goes higher, but really don't have much for the Euro USD. Let's go to the daily and have a clear view of it. And on the daily time frame, we can see that market had started to show some signs of going lower, because you can see it created this liquidity point, broke it, and created a corrective move. So what would give us the great decision would be if the market breaks below this low, then we will be ready to take some shorts until we reach some POI in here, which will probably be this or the block or this one. And if it breaks it, we look for another POI in here and a liquidity level. So it will depend on where the market will open from. If it opens higher, then we would look for buys. If it opens and starts showing signs of going lower prior to this low, then we'll look for sells. Moreover, we have a liquidity sweep on the higher time frame. So that will be all about about Euro USD, and you can see I had in a sell last week on my paper trading account. I didn't close it. I just wanted to see how the market will behave as it opens, and it would help us craft out the next week. So let's go to GBP USD. GU is showing some signs as well of reversal, but it created a high liquidity point right here. Very good equal high, previous equal high. So this is a good liquidity point daily time frame. So it shows that market is going to reverse because it's like a double top, but it won't go very low before feeling this. Before taking out this liquidity above here. So let's go to the 3 hour and look for some reversals. You can see that we have a very strong equal high as well right here. We have very many liquidity points above, so I'm not really that sure about this. So if EU goes lower and GU goes higher, it will be somehow wrong. But since we already have something like an SMT, is it an SMT on the daily? I think I saw some indifference in this because let's open EU here actually and GU here. Yeah, on the daily. Okay, so we can see that GU was a bit late, and then we have this move right here. Let's go to the 3 hour. So you can see this right here. This one created a low. This one went higher and dropped, showing some signs of reversal for that time. So we would actually like to wait for a stronger SMT to anticipate a reversal. Well, one would be like this one created a lower high, but this one created it but then broke it. You can see it right here. So this will be a great SMT. Let me remove all these drawings from here. Yeah, this will be a great SMT. I mean, creating this high right here, and we also have this right here. Let's try another one. So our conclusion on GU after noticing this SMT for GU, yeah, okay, it's taking a bit long to load. So after seeing this SMT, we'll anticipate GU to go low for a short period of time. Please note this: for a short period of time. We have strong liquidity levels, and it might also not do that. It might also not even go lower, but instead head for these strong liquidity points. We have take out this liquidity point and then maybe head for this one, because we also have another liquidity point right here, but the liquidity points above are stronger than the ones lower. So we would look for POIs that support the pullback, such as this order block right here and this one right here, and look for buys. So on GU, I'm sticking on buys until we take out this liquidity point right here. And for the dollar index, you can see it's in some kind of choppy price move right here, but it was in a little uptrend to the upside to this order block right here, but before that it was in a good downtrend. So when it goes up, the USD pairs usually tend to go down, so we might anticipate some USD pairs to go lower, such as the EU maybe, or the USD JPY. Let's wait and see how the dollar index plays out. So I don't usually trade the dollar index, but when I get familiar with it, we'll start to have some views on it. So let's look on GBP JPY and close the stream before it gets longer and prevent you from getting into action, because this should act as motivation, not something to stick you onto your screens. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly shows that last week was really in the uptrend, but overall we were in this downtrend, but not just a simple downtrend, because we have this high which was never taken out, we have this low which was never taken out as well, which means market is still in this price range dancing up and down. If we were to take trades with this, we will take short-term trades within these price moves, because it's showing signs of a downtrend. No high is being taken out, so we would anticipate something like this. Hit this order block here and go lower. Sorry, this one was drawn bad. So let's go to the weekly. Sorry, to the daily. The daily, you can see that it's going in a downtrend, but on the overall side we have a very big range that we are in. So if we are to take the sell side liquidity, then we would react to another block such as this one, where we would go like this and then continue going high, continue going lower. Let's go to the 3 hour and look for some areas of interest. So we have this other block right here, this one, like this, where we will be looking for some buys until we reach this area of interest, and then look for sells after touching this area. That will be our view on GBP JPY. And without taking long, I think that was all for today. I'll be doing some post-market analysis to see how it went, but we can't go without looking on gold for some minutes. So I really don't trade gold, but I plan on having more insights on it. And as you can see, it was in a small bloodbath right here, but someone can try to trade it in the week. We have previous equal lows, great liquidity point, so maybe it might continue going lower. We'd look out and see, but that's not the only liquidity level we have. We have this one, we have this one right here. So we clearly don't have a strong bias on the gold, other than saying that it was in a downtrend, and after this liquidity sweep we would look for a strong area of interest to react to before we start looking for buys going to the upside. And that was all, and until we talk again, and we are really sorry this one was a short one. We didn't want to make it long. We want you to go and apply what you've learned from this short video into your forex or indices or stock or futures market, so you can learn instead of spending more time on the screen watching what others are doing. So I think that was all for today. Until we meet again, which is like tomorrow, be safe.